Hello, boxing fans. How are you doing out there today? Just wanted to come in today and speak about the big weekend that we had, the fights with Anthony Joshua, also the Showtime fights with Figueroa and all those guys. Man, the Dominican Republic got their first two champions um, in in a long time, and we're ready. Hey, Karma, how you doing? I'm about to. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna definitely talk about that. We got to talk about, about the pressure, um, that we put on these fighters. Definitely in that situation with Anthony Joshua, I want to speak about that because, unlike a lot of folks, I did not laugh at the guy or anything like that for what went on with him, man. Because those situations can happen to anybody, and not just in boxing, but all walks of life. So, about the pressures of, um, in some of us in regular life, our pressures is, can we feed our family? You know, bills that are due. Can we come through? What's up, Ronnie Bravo? What's going on, y'all? So we definitely need to speak about that, about what happened in that Joshua fight, what Anthony Joshua could have done, perhaps to win that fight, because I thought that it was a winnable fight. If y'all want to drop in, you definitely can. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. If anybody want to come in and speak, or just come in and talk, give your opinion about Anthony Joshua, because I have seen all across the board different, things of what people are saying, what happened and what could have happened, what he could have done differently. Interesting fight. I felt like the fight was there for Joshua to win. I felt like he could have won that fight. Um, so we're gonna talk about that. Also, definitely we need to talk about Robert Garcia job that he did in the corner. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know that these guys love getting a paycheck. Trust me. In our walk of life, in our job, a lot of us work jobs where we can be brutally honest. Well, in boxing, a lot of times guys don't want to be honest because they want the paycheck, and they don't want to be considered difficult as a trainer. But I just felt like, Robert Garcia should have been a little bit more forceful. But of course, um, a lot of those guys aren't built in. That's not a built in guy with Anthony Joshua. Joshua came from, what I'm saying, the UK, and used him for the first time. That's not the full link. That's what it says. Checkmate. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, Jules, my brother?
Let me ask you a question, Checkmate, because you just used. I have put the link in the chat. I got APVAF7 BUDT. Is that not correct?
APVAF7BUDT. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Karma, that's the full link.
But
Uh,
usually when they post the link in there, it's actually highlighted so people could just click it. I
it
don't know.
it said I can't click it.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
why yours not highlighted.
you know what? I'm a I'm gonna send it to you in a DM, because that might be better, because some of those that are coming in under the DM one. You said it's me then? Oh, okay. Well, I'll still try to DM it and see if that works. What's going on, Ryan?
Hey Julius, what's up, Chet? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Bravo?
Not much, man.
Yeah, man, we had oh my God, we had a interesting weekend, and we're gonna talk about it, man, because look, I felt like, and I mean, I know you, I think you heard me, Ronnie. I felt like Anthony Joshua could have won that fight, man. I felt like that fight was right there for the taking. And one thing that I don't know if it was part of the game plan or what, but I think the old Anthony Joshua would have won that fight. The reckless Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Like he needed to take more chances. Like I seen a little bit too much boxing going on. Karma is sent to your DM if you want to try it. All right. But what did y'all think?
Go ahead, Bravo. You can go ahead.
Okay. Well, I agree with you. It definitely was winnable. I mean, it was there for the taking for him. I agree with that. He looked good the first, I would say, first 3 rounds. He looked amazing. But then he has this sneaky little habit of, well, it's not really a habit that I've seen in the past, but it was something that was irking me in this fight. When he actually hurt Usyk, he would initiate the clinch, which I really didn't get why he would do it. Because he was hurting Usyk to the body. When he actually was getting to the body, he was hurting Usyk, especially with those uppercuts to the body. You can tell that Usyk wasn't keen to get hit by somebody of that stature, like a puncher like that, and he was affected by it. And he was slowing Usyk down in the later rounds with that body work. But once I was seeing that once he was hitting him with the body shots, he would immediately go in for a clinch. And I know he was tired, but it was just like you're smothering yourself at that point. And I felt like the old Anthony Joshua, like you said, would have got him out of there.
All right, go ahead, Checkmate. What you think, man?
Yeah, well, as you know, I predicted Usyk would win.
Yes, you did. By decision. Yes, you did.
I predicted Usyk would win, and of course, most people. I saw the majority of people going for AJ. You know what I mean? Even people that I communicate with regularly, they didn't even respond to when they was champion AJ. I was like, I would post something, they wouldn't even respond. I guess people was taking this personally, but the reason why I thought Usyk would win, because I felt like AJ, first of all, his confidence, his mental. And if you notice, I made this little poster, and I had Usyk when I had his picture. I had him crazy, and I had AJ. I had under him mentally weak. And to me, see, AJ, he's very robotic. Meaning he thinks. Seems like he's not a fluent, instinctive boxer fighter. It seems like every time he punches, he says, "I'm gonna do the 1, 2, 1, 2, uppercut, jiff left, right." Repeat. And
is that the British Checkmate done came back again?
I might it's British Checkmate in it. Listen, but so this is my thing. I felt like I didn't see him fight with a lot of confidence. Just like Bravo said, I didn't see that killer instinct. The fact that he try to outbox the boxer again showed me that something is wrong. Either it was Robert Garcia game plan, or it's AJ just, again, he's basically, well, we saw him unravel, so we know he's a shell of himself at this point. But I did not see him use his size and his strength to be aggressive enough. That's all he had to do. Lean on him, use his elbows, fight dirty, brawl him. Okay. I thought if I gave AJ 6 rounds. I said 6 rounds to get him out of there, or he's not going to win at all. Okay. So I figure if you go shoot your low, you could have knocked Usyk out. I saw Usyk hurt several times. And it seemed like the punches he was hurt by, they weren't really hard, like devastating punches. So, but Usyk had mentally, he had AJ mentally beat. And then with Usyk, though, and I said this, I said this to you, Jules. I wasn't particularly impressed by Usyk's performance. I thought he had a lot of pity pat punches. He had a lot of movement that was unnecessary, and that movement didn't really correlate to his foot movement. It was like he was rocking his upper body, but his head wasn't on his swivel. So AJ was still able to land. And if that was Wilder, Usyk will be knocked out, guaranteed. I have no doubts about that. I'll put my mortgage on that. Wilder will 100% knock out Usyk, because first of all, Usyk was there to be hit. He was standing right in front of him. And like I said, and he was doing these pity pat punches. I just didn't get it. People saying, they were saying he's the best fighter on the planet. Like, no, he's not. He's not even top 5.
Yeah.
His skills. I mean, if you look at skills, come on, Tank. You got nobody. Tank has extremely more better skills than Usyk. But I give him props because he has the heart of a lion. You know what I mean? He's going to fight. I love his personality. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's just a guy that's just going to give it his all. But like I said, he's going to be beat. And last night he won. But I think he won because of AJ's wasn't 100% mentally there. Like you said, the old AJ Bravo. He wasn't the old AJ. And the old AJ.
And let me say this. Cozy said AJ was gassed, tired, taking flush shots, but yet still didn't go down. Which is absolutely right. I want to add this part of it. The mental game that everybody's talking about, okay? And the mental is, I believe, bigger than the physical because I believe that AJ wasn't gassed. I think he mentally was out. It's something going on upstairs where, look, we in the time of day now where people go out there, man, and they get sports psychologists, and you know what I'm saying, or maybe he need to talk to a pastor. He needs to speak with somebody that can help him with the mental game, because the mental game to me is bigger, especially with him. And yeah, we did see a meltdown last night, and we're gonna talk about.
I loved it.
We're gonna talk about that meltdown.
I loved it.
But before we talk about that meltdown, we need to talk about the meltdown that we can't see. And this is why I be talking so much about guys of old, guys of now. It's the mental game, and it's also the fundamentals. When you haven't been taught properly, I don't care in what job it is. All y'all are professionals. You got professional jobs. Suppose you had to do your job and you didn't know, you hadn't been trained, and you don't know what you're doing. And AJ has gotten by, in my opinion, off of being a brute guy, a strength guy, a guy that can out maneuver and out muscle guys, because he's not very athletic. He's athletic, but not very athletic. He's like y'all say, he's more like a robot. And I just feel like he looked the part. If you look at Anthony Joshua, you look at his face, look at his body, he looked the part of a heavyweight champion. But from the neck up, that's where you win the titles.
Yeah, well, he's getting by his sheer mass, his physique. So a lot of guys, it's kind of like that Mike Tyson effect, where you kind of beat before you even get into the ring. Because when you're looking across from a guy that looks like that, you already already beat mentally. So a lot of that, I mean, a lot of those fights he was getting by off of sheer physique. Because like you said, he's not really athletic. He's kind of like, you know, like he pigeon-toed when he's in the ring. Too much weightlifting, in my opinion. Like weightlifting and fighting have never gone hand in hand. So
that's true.
The amount of weightlifting he does, and he just gasses out, because when you got those arms, you got to keep them up. He just gasses out when when he can't get rid of a guy in 4 rounds, he's in trouble.
And also that unnecessary bouncing.
Exactly.
Like, come on, man. This guy out there bouncing. I'm like, whoa.
Like, you're not Manny Pacquiao. You're not creating any angles.
Right. Exactly.
You're not setting any traps. Why are you bouncing, bro? You need to be just a tank. Be a big bruiser.
That's it. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't see his stamina as a bigger problem as I normally do. To be honest with you, I know you people saying he was gassing out, but he's gassed out in so many different fights, where last night I was actually impressed by his stamina. Now we know, just because again he's with the muscles is going to eat up a lot of oxygen and so forth. Is, you know what I mean? The lactic acid going to kick in and all of that. So, but I was actually impressed that he was able to finish the fight without stumbling and look clearly gassed. He didn't look clearly. I'm sure he was tired, but he didn't look clearly gassed like he normally does. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Like I said, he was trying to box. I don't understand that I don't get it. You basically tried to nullify your strengths. You know, you're saying I'm not going to use my brute strength. I'm not going to use my muscle. You know,
right.
I'm going to do Muhammad Ali. You know, no, you're not. You're first of all, you have very slow recoil, and several times that he swung it, and Usyk went right around the circle with him, and that was funny. if Usyk would have went around and came back, Mike Tyson used to do that, the punch and come back with a punch and knock people down.
Yep.
Roy Jones even used to do that, circle around somebody, knock it down. Usyk didn't have that pop to do that. But let me tell you something. I don't understand. I think he needs another ear, another mouthpiece or consultant or somebody to consult with, because Eddie Hearn has ruined this guy, because they built him up into this circus show. And I'll tell you this as well. Had they taken the Wilder fight, got knocked out, lost back then, and had a great performance, whatever the case may be, and even lost, he would be bigger today, because guess what? In America, we don't even respect him. You understand what I'm saying? So if he'd have took that fight then, first of all, he would have made more money than he's ever made, ever. You know, he really truly, but he would have earned our respect. And even lost back then, he would have been able to rebuild from that point. At this point, it's almost like mentally, he's almost like a T.O. And Adrian Broner. You know what I mean? Delusional in a sense. You know what I mean? So delusion, you know, a delusion of grandeur, how he's smelling himself like he believes his own hype, where he felt like, you know what I mean? He just basically he became a corporate guy and was no longer that hungry guy. And one last thing, and I'll pass it to you, Jules. You know what? As far as with Usyk, I see if Andy Ruiz will beat Usyk. That's a fight I would like to see, just because their sizes. You know, there's not a big difference in their size, and I guarantee you, I will bet the house that Andy Ruiz beats Usyk. Go ahead.
I think that's I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mean, go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's an interesting matchup, actually. I wouldn't mind seeing that, because I believe in my heart Andy Ruiz hand speed is faster than Usyk's hand speed.
100%.
Yeah, he's faster. And then on top of that, he won't be dealing with the same thing that Usyk was dealing with yesterday, whereas AJ was like inactive, standing right in front of him, just watching the action. You're right in front of the guy just to try to put some combinations together. He was just gun shy, and Andy Ruiz ain't gun shy. He's gonna throw some combinations.
Aggressive.
So, yeah, he's very aggressive.
Cozy, if you want to come in, Cozy, you can. I put the link up in the chat. So if you want to come in, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
And anyone else that's on. If you want to come on, come on.
Hey, Cozy, he gave that 9th round. He didn't do anything. I think he was just taking a breather. You know what I mean? I guess sometimes you got to do that. He wasn't only. Who else took a breather like that? Just took a whole round off yesterday. But yeah, he just took that entire round off. Sometimes fighters do that. You know, that guy, the Chinese guy, Jing, he did that too. Took the whole round off. He should have won that fight. It did cost him. He was winning that fight. He didn't, he was completely gassed.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, Checkmate, because I want to speak on Flip for 1 second. Let me flip over to Flip. Man, people listen. Hey, I'm trying not to get like, okay, Karma, absolutely, Sugar Ray, hop on. I'm not trying to, get Roger Mayweather on people, but everybody kept telling me that folks were ducking Flip.
Yes.
Nobody want a piece of Flip. That's why, listen, man, I swear to God, I'm going to tell y'all something that I have said for 30 years about boxing. Stop calling people boogeymans. There is no such thing as a boogeyman in boxing, because somebody want a piece of you. The boogeyman is like what's the one that they holler in the mirror, and they Candyman, right? Candyman is the boogeyman. Nobody gonna be calling Candyman, you know what I'm saying? But come on, Flip got beat. I thought he still lost yesterday. How about that? I thought he still lost that fight.
I thought he lost too. I thought he
lost. I thought he lost decisively, actually.
Exactly. And he should have got knocked out. But guess what? Now everybody gonna want to fight Flip. But I just didn't like this notion. And look, man, I have not every boogeyman I ever seen, with the exception of Sleepy Hollow, I have never heard of a European boogeyman. Now maybe I'm wrong, man. Ain't Sleepy Hollow? He British, right? So I have never. It's crazy, man. I've never heard it. I'm sick of it. Hopefully, we've heard the last of Flip being a boogeyman.
I haven't even heard of him before. Then.
Yeah, he's only you. Listen, these British domestic fighters, Eddie tried to wove them into American boxing society, and you know what I mean. They were coming over and get washed. You know what I mean?
Right.
So a lot of these British, the majority of them, they are domestic fighters.
Yes.
Hargrove, he's a British UK domestic fighter. You know what I mean? He will never make it over here.
And before Sugar Ray jump on, because I know she's gonna want to get into AJ. That's why we talking about these domestic fighters. Caleb Smith.
Oh, Callum.
Trust Callum. I don't care anything. They call him Liam, Johnny Ray Smith. I'm sick of them Smiths from Great Britain. Can't none of them fight, man.
I'm sick of the Callums and the Liams.
Yes, they can't fight. CF Smith. That's what I'm gonna call all of them. Can't fight Smith. It don't matter what the first name is. It's CF. I'm sick of them, bro. I'm sick of them. Like, do us a favor. Leave them in Great Britain fighting those domestic fights and let them fight that level. Because people was telling me that Caleb Smith could not only beat Canelo at the time. I heard people say he was the best 168-pounder, one of the best that they've seen in years, and all that.
He was a log in the Canelo fight. He barely threw any punches, standing there taking punches like he took a dive.
I've been in some chats where they were comparing him to Joe Canzaghi.
Oh my God!
Again, that's the British crowd.
Yeah, hey, look, Joe
as Americans, we're a little more refined with it.
I give Joe Calzaghe credit because he laughed when he started talking about them British fighters. Although, he didn't fight the American talent until everybody was old, but even he recognized. Come on, man.
Yeah, he brought a 50-year-old Roy and a 50-year-old Bernard. So,
Exactly. And I thought he got beat by Bernard. Actually.
Yeah, I did too. And he got knocked down by Roy, and Roy was super shot. And I keep telling people, man, and I will repeat this forever. Here go my girl, Sugar Ray. I'll get back to it.
And you know
Sugar
what?
Ray, hold on a second. Check. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
What's
can
going
you invite
on?
Lisa Balls too? I need Lisa Balls in here.
Hey, we cooking on AJ. We're not really cooking on him. I'm not cooking on him because actually I got people that I blame for what occurred yesterday. Okay.
I got get Cat in here. Get Cat in here. Lisa, Sugar Ray, get Cat in here.
Well, listen, give me your view of what you saw because I thought AJ, it was a very winnable fight. I thought that AJ from round 8, he should have stepped on it. He could have took this thing home. I thought he was gonna knock him out in round 9. What did you see? What was your assessment of what happened yesterday? What's up, Steph?
I think AJ, he's still afraid to get hit a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like you said, it was a very winnable fight. Usyk is like a musician who can't play by ear. If you stop Usyk, get him out of his rhythm, get him out of his momentum, he does not know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And AJ could not capitalize on that. He gets frustrated and he doesn't know what to do. Like, he's kind of paint by numbers as well.
Right.
So he really didn't know what to do with Usyk. But if you get Usyk out of his rhythm, you can beat him because he doesn't know what to do. If he has to reset, it's like his brain shuts off. And that's where AJ was making like progress. He didn't do it. And it's not I don't want to say he lacks killer instinct.
He lacks killer instinct. I'll say it for you.
Okay, you can say that.
He used to have it. He used to have it.
He did.
Identity crisis. He suffered.
I'm gonna go into something that I talk a lot about When I compare guys to fighters of old, I have seen guys from the
You can't
80s,
really
90s.
compare them to the
Yeah,
fighters
well,
because
I'm talking about mentally.
they were
I'm talking about
fighting
mentally.
toughest niggas. You could not like
Yes. Yes.
you had to step in and fight everybody, and everybody was
Yes.
killers. Who's really the killers? It's just the top three, and now
That's
Usyk's
it.
on 4.
Absolutely.
Everybody else is on
Absolutely.
4.
I'm with you, Sugar Ray. I'm with you.
Oh, wow.
Everybody else. So it's like we just fighting each other. It's just us 4.
Yeah.
Wilder
Yeah.
can beat everybody outside of the top 4 and some people in the top 4. Same with AJ. Definitely Fury. So it's like, and Usyk, he gonna watch Parker. He will watch who else? Who else we got? Dillian.
What are y'all doing?
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, but the gap is really 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like 8. That's
Yeah, I
what
think
the
I think the most dangerous heavyweight that's out there, though, that I like is Joe Joyce, because Joe Joyce,
so fucking slow.
he is
I'm not
slow.
sold on
That
him.
is his
Oh,
problem. Now
God.
now
He can
listen,
take a hell
let
of
me
a punch though.
hey, but let me
Wilder
say
will
this.
Wilder will murder
But
that man.
but see, that's
He
the
said
thing
once
though,
he catch
Sugar
a
Ray.
body, that's gonna be the body.
But see, Sugar Ray, here's the thing. Joe Joyce ain't gonna fight Deontay Wilder. But I can see him fighting Usyk and AJ and those guys. But I was gonna go there mentally. I've mentally seen him go through being slow, getting hit upside his head, and keep going. The thing about AJ is that there's nothing you can do once. Who would that? Humpty Dumpty fell off and never got right? AJ looked like Humpty Dumpty. He looked, I'm talking about in a mental, because physically he looked right. Now, Sugar Ray, I know he looked very right to you, but I'm saying he looks right physically. But mentally, after the 3rd round, he shuts down. And like you said, when he get guys hurt, he doesn't go in for the kill based upon what happened to him in the Ruiz fight. And then I'm gonna get everybody. Steph, how you doing, brother? I'm gonna
What's
get
going on,
everyone's
Steph?
opinion on the meltdown after the fight. Go ahead, though,
I'm good,
Steph.
sir. I'm good.
What you see yesterday?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
And hold on, let me make a disclaimer. Steph called the weight correctly. He said, "Oh, Julius, it ain't as big as you think. It's probably in the little early 220s." Da 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 da. He was right. Everything he said about Usyk physically, he was right. Now break down that fight for me, Steph.
And sorry. It was a kind of, it reminded me of a lot of the first fight. I was a little underwhelmed. I was definitely rooting AJ. You remember I was telling you guys, whatever he changes, we were gonna have to be patient with that. I was definitely patient with that. I saw the adept changes that him and Robert Garcia made. The problem with him, man, I guess we could say his mentality. I guess, man. But that's not really it. He's just not good enough to beat Alexander Usyk. He's just not good enough to beat that guy. That guy is a boxer, a master boxer, an expert at ring IQ and moving around the ring, and he was never going to beat that guy. That's why, if you remember late last week, I was saying he's going to have to just change it up completely up and just jab, and just box on his back foot. But he did exactly what I thought he was going to do, come out with whatever effective aggression that he could have, and then mix it up with the body and just try to really box the guy. But like I said, that's not your strong foot, man, because especially coming forward, because he likes to set up his punches. AJ likes to set him up. The problem is Usyk never gave him the work to do so to set that up. That's why I kept saying, dude, draw him in closer to you. Draw him in with your jab, just jab. And when he takes a chance, you release your power punch. That's what you are. He did not do that.
Right.
He literally, it was the first fight over again, man. And then what else kind of bothered me too about both guys? This is about both guys too.
Yes.
how both of them were just content at just going mid-tempo and just hanging out. Both of them had an explosive round. I think it was late for AJ, and then quickly Usyk responded with whatever that ass whooping he did. But overall, like, I'm not trying to make fun of him. Usyk beat his ass, man. Beat him up again. Like, and I was watching that with all my best friends and gals and things like that, and I'm the only boxing fan. They're not even Catholics. They don't watch combat sports, and I made them watch that. I had a hell of a day yesterday. That was a long day, long night. I'm not
Right.
young anymore. I can't drink anymore, man. So salute. But I enjoyed it nonetheless. And then the meltdown, everyone makes a big deal, man. And this is, you know me, Julius. I always kind of hammer on this stuff. Like, I don't give a shit, man. I don't care about all that stuff. Like,
Right.
He's human. He's human. And for the record, on the real, that's the first time he's ever done that. He gets punked on and gets hated on for being the bigger guy all the time. So everyone can suck it. Like, I don't know. That's straight hate, like quality hate. If you're gonna say he's a meltdown and blah blah, but no, man, he was visibly upset that he got his ass beat again, and that's the long and short of it.
Yeah, and he put in a lot of work, and he couldn't understand how it happened. I heard him say that.
Right.
Don't worry, I got a video coming with probably tomorrow on that.
Okay.
But the thing is,
video coming.
The thing is, like, okay, now I'm gonna sound like I'm a hater. Dude, that was a stupid plan to just come forward and try to pressure. You know what it reminded me of, actually, Julius? Checkmate.
What's that?
Sugar Ray. It reminded me of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hagler, because I'm a big Hagler guy, but I know the best boxer of all time, in my opinion, is Sugar Ray. So when you go back and watch that fight, Sugar Ray gave Hagler so many opportunities, particularly on the ropes. He did nothing with it. Nothing. That's why he lost the fight. So that's what it reminded me.
And Sugar Ray Leonard was great at mind games.
Yeah, mind games. And that's what Usyk is, because he's a master boxer. He knows how to get in, get out, and hit and not get hit. He beat the crap out of it. Okay. And that's about it. But then, real quick, the fight before that was funny too. Man, the Asian guy and Hrgovic, the Serbian.
Yeah.
He just sucks, but he does carry a punching power. That's all he is. But he sucks. I would take Jared Anderson over him for sure. Like, Jared Anderson would probably buckle that guy. Seriously.
Let me say this real quick.
By the way, Zhang won too. Got robbed. Zhang got robbed as well.
I thought, and I was gonna say that I definitely thought he won, and also people have been telling me that Flip was this boogeyman, and I asked the question to the panel earlier. You didn't hear it, you and Sugar Ray, but how many outside of Sleepy Hollow have y'all ever heard of a British boogeyman? Or European boogeyman?
It's outside of
I'm just saying, man. Sleepy Hollow, like, it's crazy. It is crazy.
And they all just got it.
I'm just.
Ain't no one good.
I'm like, come on, man. But let me make my point. Then, Ronnie, you could go there and check about the meltdown. I'll say this: I blame a lot of people. And I said this earlier. Thanks, Sugar Ray. If you can come back on, you can do that. You're welcome. But
we started telling that truth serum on AJ. That's what she did.
Yeah, that was a truth serum. I mean, look, Robert Garcia didn't do no heck of a job either. Now, I mean, hey,
I can see that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I can see the changes.
I mean,
but like
in that corner. I'm talking about during fight.
But remember what I said? He only brought him in for, like, AJ is a rah cheerleader guy. Like, he needs the motivation. But again, like I just said some moments ago, his plan was stupid. You cannot, like, box the master boxer. And he was kind of, whether he looked slow. And then this is another thing. Probably even though Usyk was beating him down, right? He looked fidgety, right? You know,
Right.
it looked like he was trying to figure himself out or what he want to do. And I think that's just, you know, for the first time ever, you know, I always kind of I never give the guys who bring this subject up slack because I frankly don't care. But I think, you know, whatever's going on in Ukraine definitely affected him. He looked, like I said, the fight was underwhelming and he just looked unenthused, you know. Even when he won, he was just happy that it was over and that he could move forward. So I think whatever he had been dealing with, you know, with the invasion of Ukraine via Russia, definitely played a toll on him. And I never really talk about that stuff because that's not boxing, not what we're talking about. People just like to have background noise and ambience and all that type of shit. But I think that played an effect on him because he looked mighty fidgety, you know, for the first couple rounds, first half of the fight. But
How you doing, Cozy?
yeah, you know.
I'm good. How are you? What up, everybody?
Hey, what's up, Cozy?
Yo, what up, Checkmate? Ronnie, how you doing? But first off, like Julius says, Steph, you called it to a T with the weight, so we got to give you credit for that. You know, Usyk came in around the same weight. I actually want to disagree with you on the strategy of coming forward. I think AJ's best chance was to consistently have Usyk back up and to stay on the front foot because I don't think AJ is a great fighter on the back foot. And I actually think that's when the momentum kind of shifted when Usyk was able to kind of turn angles, start landing some
Cozy,
punches,
though.
and make AJ think. Yeah, go ahead.
Quickly, Cozy. I didn't get to finish that thought. So even when the reason why I say stupid is because just like I made that Ray Leonard and Hagler comparison. He did nothing when he got the man where he wanted him. It almost reminded me of like someone who likes to admire their work. He popped him once and didn't capitalize or finish with anything. Now he did it. He didn't even do it one time because he just had that one explosive round where he kind of like blitzed the guy. But you saw how Usyk quickly responded, and when I say responded, he responded with hard power shots. Like those are shots to sway the judges and be like, I'm taking over. So that's why I thought the plan was stupid, and I thought he had a better chance of winning. And frankly, possibly with some of the stuff, because he hurt Usyk, maybe not to like a huge detriment, because like I said, it's a mid-tempo fight, but he definitely had a few shots where he hurt the guy, and I felt like had he just boxed on his back foot and just led with a jab, he could have maybe knocked him down or something. Because at some point he was going to hit the peak. At some point you would have to make a move, man. So overall, Cozy, you can't make a case for AJ winning the fight. Usyk handled him. That's why I said it reminded me of the first one. I was like, man, you just out there trying to figure him out. And taking forever, not swinging, missing, and boy, Usyk was ahead of him at one point. It looked like this is how good Usyk was. At one point, when the southpaw led with that left hand, he got it away and he looked like he peeked at him first, closed his eyes, pulled and countered, and then hit the guy. And I'm just like, he was just there to be hit. I was just like, oh my goodness.
I'm gonna bring up an older fighter, Ronnie. Checkmate. Do y'all remember a guy named Ike Ibebuchi?
I do.
Yes,
okay.
I remember. Yeah.
All right. Ike and AJ physically, what I'm saying, outside of, they got the same type of body. Mm-hmm. One guy fought with reckless abandon and it worked for him. The other guy sits back and try to figure guys out. Ronnie, what did you think of Robert Garcia game plan, or what would you have done different if you could have trained AJ?
When it came to his game plan, I could see what he was trying to do. He did a lot of good things, but he did a lot of bad things as well. And I'll touch on the things that he did good first. The first thing he did good was, AJ has a habit of pawing his jab instead of just snapping it back. So the first few rounds, he was actually getting him to snap his jab back, which was affecting Usyk to a certain extent. Then, he started getting hit and went back to his old habits. I can't really blame Robert Garcia for that. That's more of an AJ idiosyncrasy. But I think that was a good thing. In terms of what he did bad, well, first, I don't like when you have a big guy and you have him give up his height. I never understood that theory. If you're a big guy, then you need to act like a big guy. He had him too low. First of all, when it comes to AJ's base, he doesn't have a good base. And why I say that is because his feet are not wide enough apart. And that's probably why he's so stiff in terms of, well, not only that because of his mass, but his feet are not wide enough apart, so he can't react the way he should react. His feet are too close together when he fights. So that should have been something that was corrected. Robert Garcia had him bending low and giving up his height for what reasons I don't know, and it wasn't really working. And then in terms of when he was in the corner giving instruction, I'm all for mind games and everything like that, but the whole thing of AJ sitting to the last possible second to come out to the bell, I can see why he was doing that because he's trying to get him to conserve his energy and everything. But the last thing you can do is have a guy who's already stiff not moving around. So he needs to be up before the ref tells him to come out and get a little loose and everything. But he just wasn't doing that. So Robert did what he could do, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing when it comes to how much I love Deontay Wilder, but it's the same thing when it comes to him. You are what you are. It ain't too much that a trainer's going to be able to teach you in terms of that. So he did his job, but I mean, what more could he really do? AJ, Usyk is just a bad matchup for him.
All right, checkmate. What did you see from Robert, and what would you have done different, man, with AJ?
I didn't really see anything different that Robert added. I saw AJ trying to outbox the boxer for the second time. I saw nothing different. AJ had the size, the strength, the power advantage, and he did not use it. If I'm AJ, I am keeping him against the ropes. I'm willing him against the rope. I'm mugging him against rope. I'm leaning my body on him. I'm punching him on his hip. He did get one dirty shot in. Good for AJ. Yeah, he got one dirty, but you have to, if you feel like you're not quicker than this guy, then you have to slow him down by tiring him out with your power, with your build. You have to intimidate him. I never felt one time that AJ intimidated him. Now, did he had Usyk hurt a couple of times? Absolutely. He had Usyk several times. Usyk should have been knocked out. What happened? AJ didn't have that killer instinct. You know what I mean? AJ still staying back and pawing and okay, I'm trying to get the perfect shot. Okay, left, right, left, up, left, down, right. And he was trying to search. He was going through his memory bank, through his mind, to saying, okay, this is the shot Robert told me to throw. Instead of just being an instinctive flowing with it.
Hey, hold up. Checkmate.
Oh, that accent is crazy, bro.
Hey, look, I'm about to start calling checkmate check Liam Smith or somebody.
Liam.
He sounds like he's from Manchester right now.
My middle name's Colin. My brother's named Liam. Listen, but this is the thing. I just feel like now, I think it was Steph said that Usyk showed like he was a master boxer, and Cozy also, add to that sentiment. I didn't see that, you guys. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't see that. Let's be clear. I didn't say that.
My bad. Okay, it wasn't you.
He just throws a lot of feints. That's all.
Okay, it was okay. Well, Steph definitely said he saw Usyk being a master boxer in that ring. I saw him.
Check me. What I said was, sir, was that he's mastered.
AJ.
But he was, he's mastered and maneuvered on how to hit people and not get hit. He's moving all the time, makes it difficult, so he's out there boxing. That's what I was going with that.
And also, Steph did say that both guys look terrible or look bad.
Yeah, no, they looked. It was mid-tempo. They were okay with just going slow.
Right.
Well,
and and also check, and I'm gonna let you land your plane in a second. That is why I feel that Joe Joyce. See, you can be extremely slow at heavyweight because you got 12 rounds. And one thing that I have seen is that I haven't seen a heavyweight fighter alive that didn't use steroids that don't get tired. I don't care if they 205 or 295. If you in a heavyweight fight, it's gonna be a lull in the action where you're gonna get fatigued. And I actually, you know what I'm saying, weren't impressed with either guy. I just felt that AJ, if he could have just mustered the mental part of the game, could have willed himself to a win yesterday. Because like Steph said, Usyk was like he was asleep out there for half the fight. Go ahead, Check. Land your plane.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't impressed with the fight. I actually, you know what I mean? It was just, I wasn't impressed with the fight. That's just all I could say. Usyk was active, you know what I mean? So I commend him for being active, but Usyk was getting hit. And to me, he had a lot of herky-jerky motion, but that herky-jerky motion, he wasn't really, his head was still in line. So AJ was still able to catch him. Like I said, and then his punches, they didn't have a lot of starch on them.
Except those uppercuts. Those were terrible, man. Oh yeah, there was some pity patting with Usyk for sure.
It was too much of it, and he didn't fight like a heavyweight. He fought like a cruiserweight. So AJ got beat by a cruiserweight twice.
But let me say something about that. Let me say something about a cruiserweight beating a heavyweight twice. In that position, I'm gonna speak up for Usyk a little. Heavyweights like Anthony Joshua, that are not the most skilled guy, but also a guy that's not gonna fight to his strength, can get beat by a light heavyweight. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? You know, and the pity patting was just him scoring points. And actually, you got to understand they score fights differently in Europe than they do in America. In America, they more about the power punching. I have seen guys win fights with pressure and no effectiveness with it. So, I get what you're saying. Okay. He didn't put nothing behind it, and that's not the remedy for winning fights normally. But go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying with him. Most of his punches are going to be arm punches. When I say arm punches, I mean he's not putting any torque behind it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's, to me, I think that's a flaw, especially because when he punches, a lot of times he's squared up. His foot is squared up. So he's not. I'm gonna throw somebody out here who gets maximum torque on his punches. Isaac Cruz. If you're not impressed by the way that Isaac Cruz turns his punches, he gets every ounce of ability that he can out of his hooks. Now, if Usyk, this is to me, I don't think Usyk took advantage of his strength, because in AJ's weakness. AJ's weaknesses are temple shots. The reason why he's temple shots, because he's very top heavy and he has horrible balance. Okay. I saw Usyk throwing a lot of straight pity pat shots and not really going to the left or the right hooks to the head. If he would have did that, he would have had AJ off balance so much, but he did not do that. Like I said, Usyk, again, he won the fight, but I'm not going to go overboard like people have been saying, like the media have already saying him, he's the best fighter on the planet right now. No, that's you guys you think you found your next great white hype, right? Wait till he run into Wilder, okay? Think about this. No, I'm not a racist guy. You know what I mean? I just see things the way they are. And for whatever reason, if there's a non-black fighter that you guys
and hold on a second, checkmate. Hold on a second. Honestly, you don't even have to say that because we can't see you, Check. So I thought you was a British guy. So where's all this coming from?
Okay, you got me there, Jules.
Yeah,
you got me, bro.
Go ahead,
What was up with them what was up with them last night talking about? You know, he was the first to win the ring with cruiserweight and heavyweight, like Evander Holyfield did.
Oh
Evander
my God,
Holyfield
they
would
need to
starch
stop.
him.
Michael, how about Michael Spinks?
Michael Spinks would have
Exactly.
starched him at
Didn't Michael Spinks
cruiserweight.
do that?
He
How
did
about
it too.
James
Chris
Toney?
Berg, Chris Berg came from
Chris
middleweight.
Berg did it too.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
trying
look
to
at
think, I'm
James
like,
Toney, another one that
Right.
came from
Right.
middleweight. Roy
Right.
Jones,
Would have beat him.
like
why
like
do they think we stupid?
Ezra Charles, Jersey Joe Walcott. Like, look, man,
Again.
hey, there's a such thing as American boxing history and other boxing history. That's people need to, when they make them crazy comments, they need to start to say, we are only talking about British fighters. We are only talking about European fighters, because 100% of the time, every statistic that they throw out has been done by somebody
Right.
in America.
I was so mad when they were saying that yesterday.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What
do y'all think about the meltdown?
Well, first of all, if you guys notice, I had predicted that Usyk would break Eddie and break AJ. I said he was going to break AJ and Eddie, and he did it. And I was waiting for it, and I was there for it, and I was expecting it. Why? Because I knew what happened after he lost to Andy Ruiz when he snatched the mic in New York. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So AJ, this is not the first time he's had a tantrum, but I knew that Eddie Hearn, even though he was promoting Usyk as well, he was like, I need AJ to win. I don't want Usyk to win. I knew that they had so much money and so much things riding on this. So this is, to me, just a little satisfaction because of what they did to Wilder, how they tried to shame the 50 pay-per-view offer, and how they try to discredit Al Heyman, how they call Wilder Alabama boy, Americans ain't nothing. Where you going to get that 50 million? Your pocket? You know what I mean? So all that disrespect, to me, I breathed a sigh of relief, because now guess what? This is reorders. This is with the great reset of boxing, because now Eddie Hearn is going to walk in America with his head down. AJ is going to be humbled. So now, listen, and I told you guys, I say I wanted him to lose. Now I want him to build himself back up and become a better version of himself. Okay? Because he needed this. Because I got tired of people telling me how great he is.
Ow.
You know what I mean? So for me, I love the meltdown. I loved it because it just showed what type of character he really is. And I love the fact because I know it broke Eddie Hearn's heart, broke his spirit. Usyk broke two people last night, and I'm happy. Go ahead. I'm done.
All right, go ahead, Ronnie. Go ahead, Ronnie.
I loved it. I listen, man. I love bad AJ. I absolutely love it. Let's first of all, like, we got to stop with this humility. Humility and fighting don't go hand in hand. So we got to stop with all this. Oh, let's handle all this sportsmanship. No, you don't. You tell this person right here, kiss my ass. You kiss his ass. You kiss your ass. Yeah, I like that type of stuff.
Right,
like
I feel you.
in sports. I mean, I don't. Man, if you talk your shit, think this is what comes with it. So, like, pull up on him, AJ, just like he pulled up on them college kids. I don't mind that.
Hey, did y'all see when he left the ring? I'm sorry to cut in, and I'm just real quick. Did y'all see him when he left the ring, when he was already in the tunnel? He cussed the guy. Yeah. The guy said, "Be some professionalism." That was one of the referees. That was the referee who I think he did the Gene fight or the fight before. And AJ cussed him out.
That's a Black American guy too.
Yeah, he was the referee, and AJ cussed him out.
Shoot, Preston dude.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He pressed Lomachenko too. He said, "I ain't trying to hear that shit." I don't blame him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I don't blame him at all. I like that kind of stuff when it comes to my fighters. A little grit. like I think he suffers from an identity crisis because I mean, all of a sudden he's some kind of mafioso, and I don't believe that. But hey,
I'm from the streets. I went to jail. I sold drugs. Saudi people ain't want to hear that. You're in a Muslim country, and you're gonna start.
I bust ice, bro.
He threw the belt. You said when he threw the belts out the ring.
I was happy he did that too. Like, fuck them belts.
Hey, go ahead, Cozy. What you think, brother?
Listen, I actually did like that he showed some emotion after the fight, because you don't want people to be comfortable with losing, because then it's like, all right, you probably don't have really much of a future in the sport. But I will say this, you gotta use that emotion. You gotta be able to channel that emotion during the fight. You know what I'm saying?
But
You can't be
Bingo.
doing it after the
That's
fight. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
You cursing out people who are coming, who just watching the fight and stuff like that, and random referees and stuff like that. It's like, brother, where was that during the fight when you needed it the most? All I
Right.
saw you do was lay on the ropes and be exhausted and not being the big man, not follow up on punches, not get angry during the fight. He
He didn't
needed
get
to
angry
channel that
once.
emotion. Yeah, he didn't get angry. He was just real comfortable in the ring. I don't know if he was more so confused because he kept on trying to play into Usyk's hands in terms of making it a boxing match. But yeah, I like that he was emotional because you shouldn't be satisfied after losing. You shouldn't be
Mhm.
comfortable, but at the same time, man, I just don't know about him, man. He seemed like he got a lot going on. He probably need to take care of that before he ever step in the ring again.
All right, before everybody, before we go any further, we got Zurdo Ramirez versus Bivol, November 5th. All right,
Wow.
here we go back.
That's who that
We got-
heavyweight remind me of, the one who won yesterday on the other card.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on a little bit.
Real
We
fast.
can come back.
Real,
Yeah, go ahead.
real
Go ahead.
fast.
Uh-huh.
You guys are saying some things that I want to respond back to, kind of going
Yeah, go
way
ahead.
back.
Go ahead. Respond back to the meltdown.
Well, a little before that, actually, just with AJ, because I keep listening to you guys, and I'm like, oh, you guys aren't listening to me. Look, he was never going to have success mauling that guy. Not at all. Why? Because that's not AJ's style, and that's never been his style. He's just always been quicker at the punch, and he has power punching ability. That's his strength. And then and here's another thing. Everyone keeps saying big man, big man, big. I'm so glad Usyk won being the smaller guy to break this big man myth crap. Like Muhammad Ali was not barely, he was 6'3", and he beat the shit out of half these guys. More than half of these guys. Why? Because he's quicker, faster, better, everything. Power punching, knockout ability, ring IQ, and there's a lot of different phases of. I'm using Muhammad Ali for example, but there's a lot of different phases. You got a young one, you got a middle prime, and you got the end with the rope dope. Like that big man crap doesn't work, and he never sufficed to that. Talking about AJ, he never, like I said, Usyk gave him room when he did give him some room to work. Never took an advantage of it because he wants you to be stationary right in front of you so he can set his power punches up. Usyk, being the master boxer there, was getting out of the way of that. Wouldn't give him that. And he's too stupid to figure that out. And he's listening to us talking about, oh, just go for it, Mom. No, because the guy's picking him apart. With lefts, with right. I mean, I'm telling you, man, he was beating that guy up. I mean, he got some damage on Usyk too. But then that pity pat stuff was toying with him because he was never there to catch him. So I'm just like, man, I don't know. And then to really wrap that up, this is going to hurt if Top Cat was still here. He's a hype job. That doesn't mean he's a bad fighter, but he's a hype job, man. He got all those belts quick, beat some undefeated fighters. Deontay Wilder beat undefeated fighters, if not 5, 6, 7, 8-0 guys like who were undefeated. Stark Stemmer.
I agree with that.
No one.
I think he was fast track. I do agree with that.
And I think he's a great fighter. I mean, I was in a space last night. Man, yeah, y'all crazy boxing Twitter, man. Y'all just be talking, just saying stuff. They talk about Usyk being an all-time great.
Yeah.
AJ's a Hall of Famer. AJ's got one scalp on his record. An old Vlad. He is not a Hall of Famer.
41 years
Not
old.
even close. Not even close, man. It's not close.
Let me say this, Steph, and I'm saying this, man, in full disclosure, and I'm not trying to be, you know what I'm saying, like arrogant or anything like that. Every era, people want to make that era the greatest era.
That's
even
fine.
if it's malarkey. Now I say why. In basketball in the 80s and 90s, it don't compare to today. Okay. But because people say, well, Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden they group in the whole entire era. This era, Anthony Joshua might make a Hall of Fame, but it's you know what I'm saying? It'll be a terrible decision. It'll be on things based on everything except what he did in the ring. With the example of Arturo Gatti, he got into the Hall of Fame by being a great punching bag, but you know what I'm saying? So he didn't deserve that. So these guys talking, Usyk, I asked the guy a question today when he said that Usyk was pound for pound. I said, number one, I said as a heavyweight or pound for pound in boxing, because I mean, come on, man. Like you can, break down a fight without lying. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to lie about, what you've seen. But let's kind of
one more.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's the meltdowns. I got a good analogy. I think you guys will like this. Since we're at the sports street here. I was thinking about it because everyone's saying the mental. You know what I think what it is with AJ? Think of it like college football. I know some of you guys are big college football guys.
Okay.
It's like, and I'm going to pick on the California quarterback. You always get these special quarterbacks.
Aaron Rodgers.
California sunshine kids, right?
Right.
They the number one, They could be San Diego, they could be San Francisco, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They could be number one in everything. Then they go to the big school. They go to Alabama, and there's 2, 3, 4 other quarterbacks on the roster are equally or even better than him. And it's a rude awakening for athletes like that when they find out they're not the best.
Right.
So it messes with them. And they're just like, and when I say some get over it. Some get over it, but a lot don't. A lot end up transferring and going and trying to start. And they still have success, of course, but you don't have that same charisma and bravadness and just that you're number one. So that's what I think his mental is, man. And he's not number one. There's a guy named Oleg Alexander Usyk. There's a guy named Deontay Wilder. There's a guy named Tyson Fury and many more who are probably above this guy. So, but that doesn't take away that I don't think he's a good fighter or a great fighter. I'm just saying.
I got what you're saying. What you're
saying
is,
I think his mental is.
Yeah, it's tough for him.
He was acting a fool, right? He was like, oh my gosh, like he couldn't believe that. He's like, I won this fight. I showed my skills, but it's like, no, this guy has better skills. You should have just tried to play to your strengths by being the bigger guy. Oh my goodness.
Hey, look, Steph. Now you're not about to start singing. You're not about to get up here and start saying hip hip.
Oh wow! And you know what's crazy? No, I missed all of it.
That one. Yeah, I had to drop that on AJ, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Hey, look, man.
Go ahead, Julius. Let's move on.
Let me. Before I move on, I will say something about this. Being into sports my whole life, man. Doing all the baseball, basketball, football, boxing, everything I've done, man. I know how it feels to lose. Mm-hmm. And even in individual sports, playing tennis, I did. You know what I'm saying, man? Yeah. I'm just going to tell you, man, it's the hardest thing because it's easier to lose in a team sport because you can blame somebody. And they do it in boxing too. They do it in tennis. We see it. They lose, and next thing you know, the coach is gone. Or in tennis, they even fire their mama or daddy. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. But I'm just saying, I felt that AJ, and I know that you're not high on the mental and figuring out, but you got to be able to figure it out. You got to be able to figure out the mental part of anything, especially a sport you getting hit in the head. You got to figure that part out. Because what happens is we see fighters panic. And speaking of that, I'm going to talk about a fighter that been getting picked on, but he didn't panic and he won. Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee is not I don't see future Hall of Famer, but let me say that the right hand that he got caught with that he didn't see, when he fell, he looked like somebody that had a stroke or a heart attack, man. I mean, I thought he was done. And he made it through the round shaky, came back and won. That's mental fortitude right there. Yeah, he pulled a rabbit out of the hat. He sure did because I thought he was done. I thought he was out. It looked like he fell and he was about to have a seizure and start shaking. He got himself up. He willed himself for a couple rounds, got his head back together, and won the fight. You know what I'm saying, man? So I'm going to give Brandon Lee a little credit. I'm also going to tell him stay away from Gary Antoine and Matias and all them guys. But he did his job, man. And like Sugar Ray said, he pulled a rabbit out in the hat after getting hit, you know what I'm saying, with a good shot that he didn't see. And also I want to say this about these fights getting pushed back constantly. And we keep seeing fights get this date, and then it get moved 3 weeks later, and then a month later. And these guys continuously keep training. A lot of times they come into the fight and their focus is off because they had trained for this day to peak by this time. Now you got to re-peak 3 weeks later. And that's what happened with Brandon Lee, and he pulled it out. So kudos to him and Madera, who he fought. Now, on to go ahead. Anybody else want to add one?
Yeah, I'll go. Brandon Lee, I didn't see the knockdown, but I did see the back end of the fight, and he's got some skills. So I was impressed. I was definitely impressed with his right hand. I was impressed with the sharpness and the crispness of his punches. We'll see where it goes, but I'm impressed with him. So he's on my. I'm gonna put him on a radar. He's not obviously he's not like my must see guy, but I was impressed with like he's got some ability. He's got some talent. Let's see him grow. Let's see him mature. But like you said, you got to have that gut. I played sports. You know what I mean? Like you said, I played sports all my life. You know what I mean? Up until I got to college, I didn't play in college. Mm-hmm. But I played in high school, and just all my life, just sports, period. So I understand that, and I understand the passion. But you got to have, and I think who was it? Cozy has said, he AJ, like he showed that passion in the tunnel that he wanted to bring all the smoke, but he should have brought that smoke in the ring. I did not see that smoke in the ring. You know what I mean? When you think of aggressiveness, you can see fighters, you can see it in their face, their facial expressions. You know what I mean? Some fighters will push their hands, their fists together, and you can just see the aggression. You can feel the tension. I never once felt that from AJ last night. And you know what I mean? So like you said, with Brandon Lee, he showed he had heart. He showed that no matter what, you know what I mean, he's going to come back. He can be down and come back and still win the fight. AJ tells me when he feels he's behind, you know what I mean? I can't see him like mentally when he feels like he's behind, he shows it physically and he shows it. He wears that emotions in the ring. And a lot of fighters, great fighters, again, you can get knocked down 2-3 times and come back and still win. I just don't see that for it. Yes, sir.
Just this entire saga, the 2 fights with Usyk, that he's trying to outclass him rather than just be himself. He's trying to outwit the witty guy who knows he doesn't have a bigger vocabulary than. Does it seem that way?
Yeah. You know why? Think about this. When he fought Joseph Parker, well, actually, I thought that fight should have been a draw at the very least.
That's what I thought too, actually.
Right. I did not think Parker lost that fight. Okay. And so he was smelling himself off that. I outboxed the boxer. I wanted to show you I can go 12 rounds. You know what I mean? And so now
there go Liam again.
Liam.
But he has this. Listen, they have pumped him up. Give Eddie Hearn credit from pumping this guy up, who thinking, making him believe he's God. And he just, again, he did not fight to his strengths. Trying to outbox him, I just can't understand that at all. I think Cozy, was it Cozy who said it? It might have been Bravo who said it, that he wasn't the come forward type of guy. He's not the type of guy to show the brutality. Who said that? Which one of you guys said that? One of
That
you
was
guys
me.
said that.
I think that was.
Okay, was you?
that was me,
Okay.
probably. But I don't think that was the right game plan, or that's never been his style, man.
Well,
I just think he's always just been quicker to the punch.
Okay, I'm gonna say this about Styles. Fury changed his style completely from fight 1 to 2 and 3 versus Wilder. Right? He started using his size. He started using his weight. He started leaning on him. He started doing all of these things that just zap your strength. Okay.
Can I say one thing? To go in there and let you land your plane. Tyson Fury had used that style before in fights. So it wasn't like he did something he never done before. Because if you go back and watch the Cunningham fight, he did exactly that after he got knocked down. In that fight.
I'm not saying he never used that. I'm saying I'm showing from versus Wilder how he changed his style from first fight. He was back foot pretty much the entire fight. The second and third fight, I'm coming forward because I'm imposing my size, which was the smartest thing to do. Wilder weighing 219, 220, whatever the case may be. Like, if I'm 270, what am I going to do? I'm going to do exactly what Fury did. I'm not going, you know what I mean? So in that sense, AJ trying to box from the outside and not putting that weight on him, not putting him against the ropes, elbowing him, you know what I mean? Just doing dirty tricks to zap his strength. He didn't do that. That's all I'm saying about when you come forward with the high guard. If you're going to, just rush him and get him on the ropes and start pounding that body. Usyk is not strong enough to withstand that bodybuilder. But he never used that, towards him. Oh, my Ravens on.
All right, guys. Now we're gonna move into something that was in boxing last night that had nothing. Well, it had something to do with boxing, but they weren't boxing. Keith Thurman, had an interview on Showtime in between some fights, and he at it again. One time is calling out everybody, and saying that he got a hit list, and if he don't get if Spence and Bud don't fight, don't hold them titles hostage, because I'm coming. Cozy, what you guys say about one time, man?
Yeah, keep one time, like you say. Yep, and my white tee, Dim Franchise Boys was out last night, man. He was throwing it back to 06. Right. He was doing it for his graduation class last night. On there, man. All he was missing was like a old new era bull cap. You feel me? But
right.
Just for him, really, I just can't take him seriously no more. I'll be honest with you. Him, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter.
Damn,
I really just want them to retire. I'm gonna keep it above.
Damn, Ronnie.
I'm just kidding. Like, bro, let's just think about it. He
I think Keith is what, 33?
Yeah, I think
he's 33 years old. Yeah. But Boots Ennis is clearly calling him out. He has nobody to fight, and he don't want to fight him, but he wants to keep trying to get the big money fights. We get it. You're a family man, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, brother, boxing is not a sport you play. Go get this last payday and just get off the stage, man.
He turned 34 right around Thanksgiving. Keith turned 34 around Thanksgiving.
I'm just really not that interested in seeing him fight. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. That's all I really got.
Damn, Ronnie.
Well, hey, he did make a threat.
I ain't saying nothing yet.
Boots. Now go ahead, Steph. What you think, man?
I love it, man. Meaning that white tee. I like how quirky and weird and how corny he can be. That's kind of me sometimes, or at least me when I was growing up. I'm goofy, man, and then I'm like out of pocket.
You play the flute?
But no, I don't do that.
Oh, okay, all right.
My father is in heaven. But look, man, a lot of us are talking. I don't want to say, I'll say talking down. A lot of us are talking down on Keith Thurman, man. Whether we like him in or out of the ring, that guy knows how to pack in rounds and win a boxing fight. And the whole Jerron Boots in his thing, I think that's just him, in some sense, trying to build a fight with whom he wants to build with, or even use boots as collateral damage, or even use boots as collateral damage and end up fighting him. I say it like that because let's say they fought at the end of next month, I would still favor Keith Thurman. Why? He knows how to box. He's proven. He is a two-time champion. He is a unified champion. Did I say two-time? I think I meant unified. But dude knows how to win, man. Dude knows how to box. He has more than decent enough power. He's still a big name. He's still a 50,000 or subscriber base kind of fandomship who will still support him. I hope to see Keith. When he beat up on Barrios, we were hoping that we'd see him one more time this year. So with him being on the set last night, he might get one of those late dates in November or even early December or again the end of October, something like that. Because I heard through the Chicken Talk pipeline that there's a few dates to be announced. And they all think it's Vince Crawford, but you know how I feel about that.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. I already know.
But didn't I tell you a couple weeks ago? I said, look, man, I don't even think they're going to be releasing a second half schedule like that. It's just going to be kind of like block scheduling where they just release some things.
Release a fight or two.
A lot has happened. A lot of champions are on suspended leave, meaning they already fought and they need 6 months to recover and get their act together and go from there. So, and then of course, there's a lot of stuff going behind the scenes that are building up for the best part of the first and second and third quarter of next year.
Right.
So,
Sebastian Fundora is gonna fight Carlos Ocampo.
Should be a good fight, man. I'm looking forward to see if I'm really looking forward to see how good Ocampo is. A lot of different mixed reviews on him. But what I will say is, with that Errol Spence fight, he didn't want to fight that guy because he could have kept going. He could have kept going in that fight, but he didn't want to fight Errol in that fight. That's why he curled up and called it a day and collected a check and moved on. But since then, he's put together some nice wins. So I'm interested in that fight. But I do, he's on thin glass. Meaning, if he goes in there and gets starched, then I'm gonna be like, I'm never listening to NEO again, man. Come on, man.
Ronnie boy, what you got in regards to Keith Thurman, man?
Keith got that Black Air Force energy. I like Keith, man. I'm still a fan of Keith, man. I'm holding out on him. I used to love Keith Thurman. I mean, I still do to a certain extent. I don't blame him. He said, I ain't no gatekeeper. I work too hard to be a gatekeeper. I'm a world champion. I was the former unified world champion. If you want my name, you're going to have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? He said, I don't know. And if you think you can come and take me out, then I'm going to beat you up like Mario Barrios. And I like Keith when he talk like that. He talking real reckless. I like Keith. I actually believe when it comes to like the contenders, I think he beat Virgil, in my opinion. I think he can beat Virgil in terms of boots. I have to wait and see on that one because Boots does get hit a lot, and he really hasn't fought anybody who really can take him out and contest him like Keith can. So I'll be interested in seeing that fight. So I reserve my judgment for down the road, but I do think he beats Virgil. And in terms of
real quick, Ronnie, like you see. I don't think he's afraid of Jerron. Like you just said to open up your opening statement, what is that? If you want to fight me, you're gonna need to pay me. He not only wants to be paid, but he's only gonna be fighting big fights, man. No gatekeeper.
Yeah.
He's no.
I don't blame him.
I think that's real.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. I don't blame any fighter who takes that position. Like if you don't believe in yourself, who else is gonna believe in you? What you supposed to say? I'm not on that level. If I'm not on that level, I can't beat Earl. I can't beat Terrence.
Right.
He said when they was on the come up, I was the man in the division. So, you beat Danny and beat Sean. I beat them first. So I don't blame him at all for his stance. Um, I like Keith, man. I mean, call him delusional, but he knows how to sell himself, and that's a lost art in this fight game. He knows how
Facts.
to market himself. He knows how to put himself out there. So I mean, I still do root for Keith. I'm a fan of his. I hope to see him in big fights, and I do take the sentiment of I love Earl and I love Bud, but if they don't fight this year, they do need to come off them belts because they at that point they just holding the division hostage. So
Yeah.
time for the new generation if they don't fight.
I like how everyone keeps lumping in Errol's stance. Oh, it's Earl is doing this and he's doing that. Earl is trying to make a fight.
I did not say that.
Earl is trying to make a fight. It is his opponent who is not trying to make a fight.
Hey,
whatever
it is, whatever it is, they need to fight this year. And if they don't fight this year, then Virgil, Boots, and the rest of the next crop needs to come up. And maybe we'll get a super fight earlier than waiting 4 or 5 years for one.
Parents should just vacate. How about that?
I am so frustrated right now.
Go ahead, Jack.
I am so frustrated right now with Terrence Crawford. The reason being, he kept saying, "I want this fight."
Hold on. Before we jump all the way out there on that subject, I want you to shoot on Keith Thurman first, and then just keep going, and then go into.
What about Cozy though? Did Cozy get to speak on Keith?
Yeah, Cozy was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke already, man.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Cozy, he just liked your voice. Want to hear you talk again, man.
Nah, he kept calling me Ronnie. He thought I was Ronnie.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Did I? My bad, man.
That's all good.
Yeah, I was like, I like Keith. They won't
go ahead, check.
Yeah, Keith is an excellent flute player. Listen, I think he's, he will. I think he's in his gatekeeper phase. Okay, he's at the litmus test phase right now. No. There's no disrespect, but I just think he's moved on to the next phase of his life. He's married. You know what I mean? He's enjoying nature and the flutes and playing for the birds.
Though?
Well, when I say gatekeeper, meaning people going to start calling him just because he said it. He said, "You young guys think I'm a gatekeeper? Come on in. I'm gonna open the gate right up for you." You know what I mean? So that's what he said, because this is now it's a name, it's a champion. I just don't see his heart is in it, because he's had so much downtime throughout these years for various injuries and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like, where's the hunger? People get injured all the time. Wilder has broken his hand and biceps and triceps and so many times, and you never know about it. You don't hear about it until he's about to fight again. Like, he never talks about his injuries. Keith injuries linger and linger and linger, and to me that speaks to the hunger and that speaks to the passion. Now, Keith, now he's saying how others don't want to give him, Earl don't want to give him a shine, and I will tell you, Terrence Crawford actually ducked. Bud ducked Keith. Keith was calling him out and
this year.
This year, last year, and Bo Mack, I made a video on it. And Bo Mack was saying, we don't get nothing from beating him. Why are we gonna fight him? What do you mean? So you can fight a green machine. What do you get from that? You know what I mean? So that to me, that's just a duck. I'm gonna call it like I said. I like Terrence Crawford. I think he's a great fighter, but he ducked Keith. Now I understand why Earl didn't want to fight him, but I hope Earl changed his mind, because when Earl was trying to get him, he was telling Earl, "Well, you get a belt yet? I'm not trying to see you yet. You ain't do nothing yet, to earn a fight with me and all of this stuff." So Earl just paying him back, because it's like, you know what I mean. But other than that, Keith.
Add to that though, Chuck.
Yeah.
To add to that, what I think the real reason behind that is that Earl again was on the come up, man, and I think he took that as far as like the respect for man and mankind, because they're both fighters who are trying to up not only their careers but up their lives, up their families, and move forward. Keith did not give him that chance.
Right.
So I think Errol took that really personal and was like, you know what, man, I don't condone, sniping people and things like that, but I'm evil too like that. I'll do it. Diamond shining, but I'll do you shady. but
He's got caught up in the business too, though. He was sitting there thinking to himself,
but again,
we
Errol is
can
thinking about
build
it
up
like
the
that,
fight.
you know.
That's what I'm
But some-
saying.
I
I'm
got-
saying. So that's
Sometimes
why.
you got to stand on your principle. So Earl standing on his principle, I agree. Because now, but you did it long enough, Earl. It's I would rather Earl.
Yeah, he got
knock
to
him
get
out.
over it now. He got to
I
get
would,
over it.
yeah. He stood on his principle, and I agree with him. But now it's time for Earl to knock him out.
Somebody
Other
calling your
than that,
name, you got to go get
No.
but other than that, I think Keith said he's ready to fight Boots, so I would like to see that. I don't think he get past Boots. I think Boots stops him. But I would like to see it just because I'm curious. Well, Keith said on TV yesterday that he's ready for Boots.
Right. No, I agree. I meant to say that with my little synopsis, but I favor him over Boots. I could see Boots winning. I could see Boots winning, yes, but I favor Keith Thurman over him.
Oh,
the only reason why.
You do catch that
No.
stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I wouldn't.
I was like, I take my money.
No.
Draw a blank number.
This is a boxing. This is a boxing match.
I can see where you're coming from, Steph, in that. I see where you're coming from that.
This is a boxing match.
Sterling.
And the thing is, I haven't seen box, man. I've just seen people be afraid of him, and I've seen him just stunt people. He's too good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I didn't say he couldn't box. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. That's all. And then now you're gonna go face.
But I'm glad you hit.
Go ahead.
Do you think Bud beats Boots? No. Do you think Bud beats Keith?
No.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I do.
He probably does.
Y'all think Bud beats Keith?
Yeah, he probably does.
Bravo. Let me know.
He probably does because
make sure you add me on Twitter.
That's the style.
You write a number in that you want to bet. Okay, my brother.
Okay.
Now that's when Bud and Boots fight. He said Bud beats Boots.
So you think Keith beats Bud? How do you think?
Do I think Keith beat Bud? No, I don't think. Steph does.
Oh, okay.
No. I said Bud probably beats him. What I did say is that I would favor Keith over Boots would beat Bud because of the styles, man. You know, but Bud likes to kind of at some point that the pressure from Boots will get to Harrington. He's gonna have to fight. Same thing with Earl. He'll have to fight, and I think once that breaks out, Boots is stronger than him. He'll beat and break the smaller guy. So that's the only reason why I think that. In the case of Keith, though, look, man, Keith is he's a master boxer, man. He knows, like the Usyk situation, he knows how to maneuver around the ring, man. And if he can just survive the onslaught, then telling how much he can sway the judges.
Okay.
The thing is, though, and I'm being for real, though. Go ahead, Ronnie. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna add this quick point, and then you can go. I was just saying to Steph that right now, if they was to fight like right now, I think Keith would beat Boots because it's a different level of fighter that he's ever been in the ring with.
Who talking about? Oh, Bravo talking.
Yeah. But now,
thanks,
if
Bravo.
we wait like a year or a half from now, then I'll start favoring Boots. But right now, I think Boots gets hit too much to deal with somebody like Keith.
Not mad at that. Not mad at that.
See, here's my thing with that though. Okay, so Mario Barrios, the last opponent Keith Thurman fought. Keith Thurman put some paws on Mario, but did Mario get stopped or did he ever? You know what I'm saying? No. Boots is way bigger and stronger than Mario Barrios. Gets hit less than him. He's got a way better offensive arsenal and he's got better feet. I just don't see what y'all seeing. I think Boots would stop Keith right now. Maybe 8 to 9 rounds.
That's cool. And I'm not mad at that. See,
Mario hurt.
I don't. In my
Mario
opinion, Porter is stronger than Boots. In my opinion, though.
No, you're talking about physically, or you're talking about
physically? Yeah, physically.
Sure, but they're different fighters, though. Porter smothers his work and stuff like that. Boots is a much more clean puncher. You know, he gauges distance better. Yeah, he is a way higher IQ to me than Sean Porter in the ring. So I would even.
I love Sean Porter, man. Let me say this real fast. I love Sean Porter, man, but I think he's been done for quite some time. I don't know when. I can't really pinpoint it, you know, and I really got to think about it. But
Around the Ugas
no,
fight.
no, like oh, sorry. Because you know, I got to talk with him personally and pick his brain and question him, and he told me straight up, man, his body failed him, and it had been a long time coming, but he should have done it a long time ago, man. He's virtually been on, kind of like Andre Ward, been on one leg for many, many years. So the Earl Spence mess, man, he really, really, really gave it his all. He really, really, he left everything in there. Everything in there. I probably haven't seen a performance like that from him maybe since maybe Keith, not Keith, what's his name? Kel, honestly.
Okay.
Honestly.
Now check this out. So the point I was going to make regarding Keith is that, you know, you guys are saying that you guys, well, someone said that you pick him. Bravo said he would pick Keith over Boots. Well,
Yes.
I look at
Right now I would.
okay. Well, I look at, I know we don't like to do the triangle theories, but I'm gonna do this for a moment. Manny Pacquiao
Oh
beat
no.
Keith. But Manny
That's a generational
Pacquiao,
talent, though. Come on. Man.
listen. But Manny Pacquiao couldn't really hang with Ugas because of size,
Style,
right?
That's style, man. That's style.
My point is size. It had everything to do with size. Ugas was too big, too naturally big at this stage. Now the old Pacquiao could have KO'd him, but at this stage, but remember, he had just beat Keith. So you beat Keith, but then you go up against Ugas. So now you guys telling me the guy who beat Keith lost to Ugas. Ugas lost to Earl, but y'all saying Keith is going to beat Boots, who I think Boots will beat Manny, will beat Ugas, you know, will beat them. You know what I mean? We'll beat Bud.
But checkmate. The reason why I said that is because of A, style, but it's the what I had seen, what I know from Keith, and what I haven't seen from Boots. Like I mean, like Bravo said, that's the biggest step up, and it would probably be his 30 fight career. That's the, I mean, that is a big step up.
You know, Steph,
I would love to see it.
You know, Steph, I'm gonna tell you why I would pick Boots to blow Keith out, and I'm gonna tell you why.
But I'm not mad at y'all when y'all say that. I'm
gonna tell you, there's no logic in it, other than my eyeball. That's it. That's it. And look, we ain't gonna get deep. It's my eyeballs. They did it. They said it. Listen,
same here,
I have
100%.
seen many guys do step up fights that haven't done nothing but blow out bums or guys they supposed to beat, and the reigning champion or the great contender, they go right in there and run through them, because I think hunger comes into play. Keith is not hungry, and he sounds to me like a guy that's trying to trump up his hunger, like you know, like a guy that was a hardcore guy in the late 90s or early 2000s. You know, he got to really do some rah to get to that level in 2022. That's what it seems like with Keith. Keith seems like a very comfortable guy with life. He get his paydays. He got a family. He got a child now. But man, Boots is hungry, and Boots ain't no young guy. He 24 already, 24, 25. It's time to go. Boots Ennis needs no more fights with guys that are ho-hum or the Thomas Delorme types, even the Clayton types. Man, it is go time.
Okay,
and I think
I didn't want to go here.
Wait,
go ahead.
Before you go,
ahead,
did you see Lipinets? Lipinets looked like he was their near Hall of Famer last night, right?
Opponent.
Omar's done.
I know. But what I'm saying, like, he was pretty much he did his thing last night. He didn't hold a candle to Boots, right? Again, He
Right,
didn't hold it, so
right.
that shows the level. So, in one guy, he can look like, oh, this guy could be champion. Another guy, he looks like, oh, he doesn't even belong in the same ring with this guy. Now, with Keith is very tender to the body. He's been hurt in his
Everyone.
last 3. Yeah, he's very tender.
Tender.
He's been hurt to the body his last 3 or
Y'all are
4
crazy.
fights. Okay, and so Boots' his power is going to be too much for Keith. That's all I'm saying. His size, his strength, and his power is going to be too much for Keith. And
Y'all make me sound like a Boots hater, man. Not like
no. Your
No, I
eyeball see what
respect what
you
you're
listen,
saying,
Steph.
man.
I respect everything you're
Yeah.
saying because you're seeing it from your perspective. You notice
Right.
we don't argue on this panel. There's no argument. You know what I mean? We just showing like Julius said. You know what I mean? His science is his eyeballs, and mine is the same thing. So your science is your eyeballs. So I can't argue from what perspective you're looking at. You know what I mean?
See.
So
Yes, sir.
So that's the way I see it. I just don't think it'll be close. I don't think it'll be close. I think he's faster, he's quicker. Keith likes to throw these wild, wide hooks. Okay, because he got power. We know, everybody knows he got power, but he tries to use his power, like he's wide. I mean, schoolyard wide. You know what I mean? And to me, I think, to me, I think that's just going to be the downfall when it comes to Boots. Why? Because Boots throw crisp, sharp punches straight. So that's the way I see it. And I'm gonna say this about the move to the real quick, and then I'm gonna jump off you guys and I'll see you guys a little bit. I got my Ravens are on, but Spence and Bud, I think Spence need to move on and get a fight in November, a tough fight in November, because I don't like this hijacking of Undisputed, what they're doing. I have lost respect for the way Bud is conducting himself as far as business-wise. He's trying to force a 50-50 fight because he feels like he got the last piece of the puzzle. That's not good faith negotiating. That's not good faith standing. You wouldn't ask for 50-50 if it was Manny Pacquiao, so all of a sudden you want to go ahead and try to up this on Earl when you have not done that. I don't care if Earl decided to give him 70%. That's Earl's decision. I don't care about that. What I care about is the fact that, first of all, Earl is not paying him. Showtime is paying him. Okay, so you're stopping an Earl momentum because of you feel like you want more. I think they should give you 10 million, whatever the case may be, plus pay-per-view. But the point is, whatever they decide to give you, you said you wanted this fight. You've never been paid 10 million. You're going to get that, more than that with the pay-per-view, back in. But my point is this: I'm very disappointed because we all wanted this, and what he's doing? He's doing a Eddie and AJ what AJ did to Wilder. You know what I mean? Right. And he's stalling it out.
Hey, look, guys, this is what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna end the show tonight, but I'm coming back for part 2 tomorrow, man, because we got to get on to the Showtime fights with the 2 Dominican fighters that won world titles. Man, we got
Broadway Joe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Broadway Joe. I mean, man, look, man, he looked like a guy that had won the lottery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's having fun, man. God is good.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right, fellas. I'm gonna watch my Ravens.
Hold on, check.
Ravens,
hold on, check. I'm gonna let you watch the Ravens. Everybody get their last little word in, and then I'm gonna be sending out the link tomorrow to all y'all to come back and join me again. Go ahead, checkmate. Last little word, man.
Last little word. Like I said, I'm feeling blissful after the AJ loss, as I predicted he would lose. I said this will reorder things in boxing. It will make Eddie Hearn more humble, because it will make AJ more humble, and I think it will make Eddie Hearn more likely to give good fights instead of hogging out, because he totally stopped the middleweight division with Charlo and not allowing any of the zone fighters to fight him. So I'm happy for that. I enjoyed the meltdown. I'm gonna enjoy this for another week. I'm gonna I got a video in the works on it that I'll probably post tomorrow on it. But that's it. I'm just, it made my day. I'm glad, and I feel zen like. I feel some type of vindication because of all the disdain that they caused for us losing out on Undisputed with Wilder.
Well,
He's right.
checkmate.
He's right.
Yep,
Checkmate
yep.
is right.
Before you
Eddie
go,
Hearn ruined
hip,
boxing,
hip,
man.
hip.
Right.
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray! Hooray! Oh yeah!
man.
Listen.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Like he took the mic and started saying that. Like, dude, what are you doing?
All right, man. I'm gonna lay off her. Ronnie, give me your last words, man.
Yeah, I'm like, check. It's always a good day when Eddie Hearn gets his comeuppance. I hate that man with a
Right.
passion. That man gets some everlasting nerves. He's never made a super fight, but he walks around like he's want to do the elephant walk. Like you ain't never made a. You couldn't get Devin Haney undisputed. You couldn't give us a Wilder versus AJ fight. What have you ever done for us? So it's always nice to see him get his just due, which is nothing. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, I'm gonna hop off and get on this Game of Thrones.
Hey, that's what's up. House of Dragons, right?
10
Yes,
seconds.
sir.
10
Yes,
10
sir.
seconds. This is what I meant to say real quick. 10 seconds. Yeah, my whole thing was I did not want Eddie Hearn to have control of the heavyweight division again. If he did that, we would have had, you know what I mean? It would have been dragged down like he did with Wilder. That's all I want to say.
All right.
Gotcha.
Go ahead,
I
Steph.
hear you, Check. Yeah. I've had a good weekend overall, man. A good part of the second part of my week. God is so good.
Hold on 1 second. Also, we're gonna talk Navarrete tomorrow night as well.
Yeah,
He was
I do
a
want to talk to
bomb.
him. Yeah, I do want to talk to him.
He's sorry.
Oh yeah, we're gonna shoot on him
Oh,
tomorrow.
Check. Wow.
Trust
I got to
me.
hear Check. Oh, man. Hilarious.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it
Um,
tomorrow. That
Yeah,
guy's
we're gonna talk
overrated.
about it tomorrow night.
I
Definitely.
can't wait.
That's another
Yeah.
overrated guy.
I know all of a sudden I really want to see him in Shakur now. It's crazy. But yeah,
Burchell.
yeah. So good
2.0.
weekend. Good weekend in the books. I'm also with Check. Eddie Hearn is getting a nice dose of humble pie, and with the Canelo losing, and of course AJ losing, he's got nothing, man. He's got nothing. He's got nothing.
Dylan White.
And what
all his top horses lost.
Yeah, what it is though that some people, if they're really paying attention, get to find out, who's all wrong for boxing, man. These people say they want this, that, and the other, and how they're using this undisputed stuff for marketing terms, and then we could go on forever. But the light is at the end of the tunnel, and it's shining bright, gentlemen. It's shining bright. I want you guys to have a good start to the week tomorrow. It'll be the best week of your lives. Lord said the same.
Sir.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Cozy, give me your last words, brother.
Just to echo the sentiments of everybody else on the panel, man. The writings on the wall, Mike, for Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying?
We got
come on,
another
bro.
Liam.
Come
Is
on,
this
bro.
Williams or Smith?
bro, oi, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was the right talk about, mate. But hey, man, Eddie, you're just gonna have to go home, hanging your head, man. For AJ, I really do feel bad for him, but he should have made that transition to the US a long time earlier. And
We'll talk about that too.
Yes, sir. All right, and then Usyk, congratulations on the win, but he
congratulations.
might be biting off more than you can chew with the Fury fight on the horizon. So that's my thoughts.
I want to talk more about that too tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, talk about
definitely.
that.
Let's talk about it, man. Whatever y'all want to talk about, we definitely can talk about Usyk. I also, just to end to talk about things that we had talked about. It's a bad day, man, with Matchroom. It's a bad day if you associated with Matchroom, because I wouldn't be shocked if some people start to get laid off that's in the company and all type of things, because hey, you got to think, man, DAZN has already started to, talk about doing fights with other promotional companies, letting other networks buy these fights, and we don't want those type of fights. Well, the writing is on the wall. DAZN is going to be in store for a lot of domestic fights, a lot of Callum Smith versus Liam Smith, and you know what I'm saying, and Liam
Not to
Williams.
mention,
I mean,
Them person,
yeah, go
the
ahead.
zone
No, go
spent
ahead.
the zone spent the bag on AJ. They outbid Sky.
Yeah.
The zone
Mhm.
spent the house on damaged goods, and I
Yeah.
know they hate Eddie. They hate
I think
him
All-
right
all-
now.
they paid
Look,
like 60
also,
million
I
yesterday,
wanna-
didn't they?
Huh?
He got like 60 million yesterday, didn't
He got
Oh, he got paid. He got
no,
a bag.
but I'm
Yeah.
but I'm saying in general they signed him away from his Sky deal, so
Oh,
they
yeah.
signed him to a massive deal, and he has a lifetime deal with Matchroom, and it's damaged goods.
Well, that's another subject for another day. Those lifetime deals that sound very slave type. Also, I want to shout out Sugar Ray for coming on, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you in the chats. Cozy was in there with you. Then he came on. I appreciate all y'all coming on, man. I done had a long weekend. I had to see the fights. I went down to another state and came back, traveled all day. So I'm gonna get some rest. But I am gonna watch my power show and a little bit of football. So I'm gonna watch all those things tonight. House of Dragons, I might check that out too. But look, man, all y'all have a good night. Good start to your weekend. Tomorrow night, probably between 7 and 7:30. We're gonna be right back on the thing, man. Steph, you gonna be able to join me then? Because I know it's 4:30 there, right?
Yeah, I should be just it should be an early day of work tomorrow. I think I'm on the AM side. So
All right.
I should probably be
Cool,
I should make it, sir.
All right, cool, man.
All right, fellas.
I see all y'all tomorrow, man.
All right.
All right,
brother.
we'll see you tomorrow.
Y'all take care.
All right,
Good night.
brother.